So it says in Luke 19:14, but his citizens hated him. They didn't care nothing about him. They hated him. His own people, Israelites, hated him, and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. Right? So what did he say concerning these Israelites, his own citizens that hated him? In verse 27, what did he say? But those mine enemies, he called them his enemies, that would not that I should reign over them. Those his enemies that they didn't want him to reign over them, be the king of kings over them. He said, bring hither and slay them before me. See, a lot of y'all probably won't read that in the church. I don't know, but he got something for you pork chop eating preachers. That's why I'll be warning you. See, y'all think y'all could just do whatever you're doing until the end? No, I don't think so. You better repent and come back to this truth, because you're not bringing it forth. Or what religion that you're in is keeping Most High's moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws? I'm asking that question. I'd like to know. Concerned minds want to know why I'm asking. Because if you're not doing that, you following the same way that we read in the Greek Empire. When the so-called white man came into power, Antiochus Epiphanes had everybody to forget the law of the Most High and follow his religion. That's what y'all doing right now. That's why I'm asking the question. And some of y'all go to church. Some of y'all believe in whatever religion you believe in. What religion is keeping the Most High? That says the law of the Most High that y'all following. Y'all learning it, living and applying in your life, that you can make it to the kingdom. Because what do you think he's going to judge you on? Myself Shai coming back to rule these nations with a rod of iron, starting with us, y'all, the Israelites. So listen, he said, but those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, his own citizens, he said, bring them in front of me and kill them right in front of me. That's what he said. But you ain't reading that in the church. That's why the Most High said, look, go to Hosea. Book of Hosea, 4:1. Hosea, the 4th chapter, first verse. Listen to what he said. Y'all better hear the word of the Most High before it's too late. And I'm crying out to you because I'm seeing too many deaths. I'm seeing too many deaths. Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of the Most High. Hear what the word of the Most High have to say to you. Ye children of Israel. We the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we are. For the Most High have the controversy with the inhabitants of the land. He got a controversy with everybody on this land. Why? Because there is no truth. What's the truth? We all know how to sing that together in Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Whose laws are they? The Most High's laws. Because he say he got a controversy with the land, especially here, because there is no truth, nor mercy. What's mercy? Not getting something you do deserve. They're going to give you what you deserve. The old and the young say they don't have no mercy on them, old or the young. Nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. Right? So, I'm going to show you something. When salvation is coming on this earth, said no knowledge of the Most High in the land, right? So when salvation is coming on this earth, in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, it tells you. Because he said, now before we go to Psalms, let's bring it on home. Go to Psalms 94:16. So you can get an answer from Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Psalms 94:16. Most High asking a question. Psalm 94:16. He said, who will rise up for me, for the Most High, against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity, right? So we want to know who will stand up for him against the evildoers and the workers of iniquity, right? Who's going to do it? Wisdom of Solomon 5th chapter answers that question. Verse 1. Then shall the righteous man, those that keep the commandments of the Most High, stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors, right? Like, 400-some years of slavery, free labor, from 1492 until today. You add up the years. I gave you less than what it really add up to be. It's a then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness in the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Powers and authority coming on this earth to the Israelites. So far beyond all they look for. Right? So I'm here because it's saying in Hosea 4:1. Go back there. It's saying there's no knowledge of the Most High on the earth. But y'all think in y'all wildest dreams, as you just seen, the people just signed a petition to get rid of the Bible. Just like they did in the Greek Empire. Get rid of the Bible. They signed it. Over and over again. You've seen it with your own eyes. You seen the brother, he didn't do it. But think about that when he walked on the way. First he stepped back from him. Then he said, what? He listened to him, what he said, and he walked away. We the children of Israel, whether we know it or not. We got the zeal of the Most High, maybe not according to knowledge, but you see at the zeal of the Most High, he walked away from that. No, I ain't doing that. So it says, hear the word of the Most High, Hosea 4:1. We just showed you who gonna stand up against the evildoers, who gonna rise up against the workers of iniquity, a righteous man. So it says, hear the word of the Most High, ye children of Israel, for the Most High has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why? Because there is no truth. Because the laws of the Most High is not being taught in the churches. He got something for y'all. Believe this. Don't think you just gonna do whatever you're gonna do. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not gonna be okay. As it is written, I'll show you. Because there's no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land, right? So look, Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. It says, when they see a righteous man standing great boldness in the face of such have afflicted him and made no account of his labors, when they see it, they shall be filled, troubled with terrible fear, and it shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation as so far beyond all they look for. Verse 3 says, and they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit, because they saying, wow, salvation is to them. Listen, shall say within themselves. It's already telling you what the future is going to hold for the people that's going to see salvation come to Israel. That's why when you look at Revelations, go to Revelation, the book of Revelations. So you see how it all go together. It's all going to talk to you from the word of the Most High. Listen, let's look at verse 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, come on up here. The angels coming to get the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. Gonna say, come on up here. And they ascended. Going up. They ascended up to heaven in a cloud, which is a chariot of the Most High when you read Psalms the 104 and 3. We call them IFOs. They call them UFOs. We call them IFOs, identified flying objects. They call them unidentified flying objects because they don't know nothing about them. They don't know anything about the angels. It will say, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in the cloud, right? And their enemies, as those of us, Most High will, going up in the chariots with the angels, and their enemies beheld them. See that? Enemies going to behold us, right? So now, what they going to say when they see us? That's why I say they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. That's why the Bible is a puzzle, but you got to know how to put this together. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, and it'll talk to you. Here a little and there a little. So they're going to be looking up. As we're going up in the sky, Most High will is us, right? Just what they're going to say. That's why I said, And Wisdom Solomon 5:2, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, right? And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves as they looking up, as of the Israelites going up into this sky, ascending up to these chariots, in these chariots. This was he? No, it can't be them. This was he? Whom we have sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach, a proverb of disgrace. We fools account of this life madness. Madness. And its end to be without honor. They out there hollering and screaming at, being on the internet, hollering and screaming at us. We fools account of this life madness. And its end to be without honor. That's what they saying. That's why I say the present, the future, and the past, the present, and the future is all here. You want to know it? Just ask. It's right here. He's telling you what they're going to say. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? They screaming now. There's an exclamation point. How's he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Because everybody, Most High sent Jesus Christ to die for everybody. How's it just him? How's it just them? Listen what they're going to say. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth. What the Most High say? Hosea 41. Hear the word of the Most High, you children of Israel. The Most High has the controversy with the inhabitants of the land because there is no truth. Because the majority of our people are not following the truth, which is the laws of the Most High. The majority of our people following these religions that say we ain't under the law, but we in the mercy and grace. We Gentiles been grafted in. You gotta be filled with the Holy Ghost and speak in tongues and run around the church like a chicken with his head cut off. But you have no knowledge of this Bible, as you should. That's why you gotta listen to what he's saying. Especially you pork chop eating preachers out there. Listen to what he said. He gonna talk about you too. Listen to what he said. He got something for you too. They're gonna say, how is he numbered among the children of Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Some of you 2/3 gonna be saying this too. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth. Yeah, you erred from the way of truth. Or you can tell me right now your religion that's keeping the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws right now. If not, you err from the way of truth. You're going to be right here saying the same thing. In the light of righteousness, which is keeping of the Most High's laws, Deuteronomy 6:25, have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. This is what they're going to say. Because remember, they're going, our enemies going to be held as going up, right? This is what they're going to say. We reared ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Look at Ukraine and look at all the things that have happened as far as the total wickedness and destruction. Who's really the wicked? When Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who covered the face of the most important judge of all, the Most High, and put their picture in there to be the Most High, if I might ask? What people? You see? So listen what it says. We rid ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where they lay no way, but as for the way of the Most High, the Mashiach, we have not known it. You see that? They say we have not known it. The way of the Most High, the Mashiach. That's why it says, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. The knowledge of the Most High in the land says, for the way of the Most High, we have not known it. Job 24:13. Keep that in mind. Let me hold that in Hosea, because I want to come back there. Because it's very important that we see something here. As we go through this, as the Most High talks to us tonight, make sure that you hear and see something, all you that have eyes to see and ears to hear. Hopefully it'll move you to want to know more of the future. So, Job 24:13. They are of those that rebel against the light. They are of those that rebel against the light. What's the light? Hold that. Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law of the Most High is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So it's telling you, they are those, Job 24:13, they are those that rebel against the light. They rebel against the laws of the Most High. That's why we went all the way back to the Greek Empire when it was against the law to say that you was a Jew. It was against the law to even follow the Most High's laws. What he wrote with his finger, the work of the Most High. They are those that rebel against the light and are wicked people of Israel. Went to the king to get a license to be wicked. They are those that rebel against the light. They are those that rebel against the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. They know not the ways thereof. We just read it. In the end, that's what they're going to say. As for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach of Shai, we have not known it. And y'all going to follow them? Nor abide in the paths thereof. You see? Go to 2nd Ezra's 3rd chapter in the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra's, I think it's 3rd chapter. Let me see. Yeah, verse 32. This is what he's saying. It's my partner Ezra. Look what he said. Or is there any other people that know of thee besides Israel? Answer the question. Is there any other people that know the Most High besides Israel? We the Israelites? Or what generation have so believed thy covenants as Jacob? Your contract, your agreement as we the children of Israel. And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen. I've gone here and there through the heathen, these other nations outside the 12 tribes of Israel. And I see that they flow in wealth. Yeah. You say they rich. They got all kind of money. And think not upon thy commandments. Because he didn't give the commandments to them. That's what they're going to say in the end. As for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach of Shai, we have not known it. That's what Ezra's saying. And think not upon thy commandments. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance. And there's also that dwell in the world. He's saying, measure in weight our wickedness and they that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel, but amongst us the Israelites. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name changed to Israel, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. What nation can say that they're part of the 12 tribes of Israel, who the Most High says that's his name forever? That's what he's saying. They don't think on his commandments, and it says, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. His name is in our name, Yah, Shar, Allah. What other nation can say his name is in their name? If I might ask. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name, Yahshua Allah by name, have kept thy precepts, as I'm giving you precepts, but not the heathen. As they say, as for the way of the Most High, and the Mashiach of Shai, Wisdom Solomon 5 and 7, we have not known it. So, going back to Hosea 4 and 1. And it reads, hear the word of the Most High, ye children of Israel, for the Most High hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why? Because there is no truth. They're not dropping the laws of the Most High in these lands, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. Because they're teaching you that you're not under the law. Look at Jeremiah 25. Go to Jeremiah 25th chapter. Jeremiah 25. Let's see what the Most High got to tell us here. Let's start at verse 30. Therefore, he said, prophesy thou against them all these words. Prophesy is something for the future. Like where we at now. Jeremiah prophesying against us. Here in the future, his future, which is where we at now. This present time, he said, therefore prophesy thou against them all these words. And say unto them, the Most High shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. Remember the Most, when we heard the Most High, we went to the mountain. He was on Sinai, the Most High loud. The Most High voice is thunder. So he let his voice bear and say, oh, we ran away from the edge of the mountain and said, we don't want to hear the Most High. We want to hear you, Moses. We hear the Most High, we're going to die. Listen. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, the Most High shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. Where you think we at now? That's why 2 Ezra 6 and 9 says what? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. So it said, the noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Most High hath a controversy with the nations. See that? He got a controversy. He got a problem with the nation. With the problem. Most High got a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. He got a controversy with the nations. You hear that? He will plead with all flesh. He will give them, this is future prophecy. This is where we at now. Get ready to go into this. When he roar to the inhabitants of the land, he got a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword. He gonna give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Most High. Thus say the Most High, power of hosts, power of armies, power of angels. Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. Remember what I read to you in what Master Shah said in Matthew 24 and 12? For iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. He said, evil shall go from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. That's tornadoes, hurricanes, because the ocean out there, right? You got tornadoes, you got hurricanes, tidal waves, whirlwind spinning around from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Most High shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. When he's talking about verse 31, a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. It's where we at now in these last days. He said, thus said the Most High, verse 32 of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Most High shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented. Ain't nobody gonna be crying over these slain people, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Howl ye shepherds. Now it's talking to you pork chop eating preachers. He say, howl ye shepherds and cry and wallow yourselves in the ashes. But you will be humbled at this time. The principle of the flock. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee. Ain't nowhere to go. They ain't gonna have nowhere to flee, nor the principle of the flock to escape. So you ain't gonna have nowhere to run to, and you ain't gonna have nowhere to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and an howling of the principle of the flock shall be heard, for the Most High has spoiled their pasture. That's their flock. That's the people that's following them. And the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Most High. He hath forsaken his covert as the lion. But the land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor and because of his fierce anger. You hear that? So what you gonna do when he come for you? Jeremiah 23:1. Whoa! That means destruction be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said the Most High. So he gonna kill you. Therefore, thus said the Most High, power of Israel. Y'all say the power of everybody. You say the power of Israel, the Israelites, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock. You ain't taught them the truth. That's what he's saying. You have scattered the flock and driven them away from what? From the truth, as we just read. That's why you got a controversy, because the first thing he said was what? There is no truth. His laws, all the things that he took the time to write with his finger to write, he wrote them with his finger. He wrote it with his finger. Ooh. The work of the Most High, y'all done threw them and flushed it down the toilet. You hear what the people said? This ain't nothing new. Nothing new under the sun. I just read to you in the Apocrypha. When the Greeks came into power, when the wicked Antiochus Epiphanes was against the law to read the Bible, to follow the Most High's laws. Let me show you what else he did. Because remember they was saying, what they say? In that video, he was asking people, we want you to sign this petition to do what? Get rid of the Bible. And they were signing it. They were signing it. Let's go to 1 Maccabees, first chapter again. Show you what they did. What else they did. Go to 1 Maccabees, the first chapter. We're going to look at verse 56. Listen what they did. And when they had rent in pieces, they tore in pieces what? The books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. So they tore the books, the Bible, books of the law, that we would learn the laws of the Most High, the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, the sacrificial laws. They ripped them apart and burned them. And whatsoever was found with any of the book of the Testament, you were found with the laws of the Most High to be able to follow him. And whatsoever was found with any of the book of the Testament, this is under the so-called white man's first rule, the Greek Empire. Or if any consented to the law of the Most High that he wrote with his finger, the work of the Most High, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. You see? Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. See? That's what they did. Now the 5 and 20th day of the month, just like your Christmas, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women, certain you Israelite women, that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks. This is where your bulbs is around your Christmas tree. This is where this comes from. They hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them, to kill them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. That's how we were. Our bodies were pure. We didn't eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. But we as the Israelites, under who? Under the Greek Empire, the so-called white man's first empire. What did they do though? Verse 56, and when they had rent in pieces, they tore in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whatsoever was found with any of the book of the Testament, the laws of the Most High, or if any consented to the law, any consented to following the laws of the Most High, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death for reading the laws of the Most High. Is that why y'all so fervent in dealing with we're not under the law? That's why the Most High told you in Jeremiah 23:1. You better hear this, pork chop eating preachers out there. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. He's screaming at you. Said the Most High. Read it for yourself. Make it mean something different. If you're not showing your pastors that's under you and those in your congregation the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, because y'all be ordaining people to be pastors, they ain't got no knowledge of this Bible. That's why I say, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said the Most High. Therefore, thus say the Most High power of Israel, not against anyone else, but this is what the Most High is saying as the power of Israel, not the power of no one else, no other nation, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away from him. As we read, ain't nothing new under the sun. They program you in slavery to follow a certain doctrine, and you still following the same thing that they taught us in slavery to this day. So I say, you have scattered my flock and driven them away and have not visited them with the true understanding of the truth of this Bible. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, said the Most High. See, he said, I'm going to get you. He said, and I will gather the remnant of my flock, as he's doing now, out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, to the sheepfold, and realize that we are Israelites. And they shall be fruitful and increase. We'll have a lot of children, he's saying. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them. The proper understanding of this Bible, as he's doing now, and will bring them again to their folds. And they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them. And they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall they be lacking, said the Most High. So we're going to have plenteousness, plenty of anything that you could desire. That's why it's worth it. So, the things that you have done, it's going to come back on you. Verse 7 said, therefore, behold, the days come. Jeremiah prophesying the future. Said the Most High, that they shall no more say, the Most High liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Because you know all 12 tribes went into the Egyptian captivity, coming out. But the Most High liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country. What country we in now? Is this called North America? Out of the north country. And from all countries whither I have driven them. Because we scattered among all nations. But he's going to gather us. And they shall dwell in their own land. He's going to put us in our own land. He said, mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine has overcome, because of the Most High, and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers. Tell me this land ain't full of adulterers. Adulterers. For because of swearing, the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness is dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane. Hear that? Good for nothing. Profane. He said, yeah, in my house have I found their wickedness, said the Most High. Who live in a house? Family. It is family. He called us his family. We the children of Israel. He said he found wickedness, evil, and the force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane. Yeah, in my house have I found their wickedness, said the Most High. Wherefore their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness. Slipping in the darkness. They ain't gonna know which way to go. They shall be driven on and fall therein. For I will bring evil upon them. It's coming, y'all. He said, I'm gonna bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, said the Most High. He said, I have seen folly, a bunch of foolishness in the prophets of Samaria. Talk about the northern tribes. They prophesied in Baal, which is Lord. Look it up. They put it in there representing Baal for your Lord. Y'all saying it all the time. Look it up. Look up Baal. Matter of fact, if I can, here it is. The first letter of B in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Look it up yourself. Look at it for yourself. You see it right there? It says Lord. That's what it means. And they put it in your Bibles and got y'all saying it all the time, just like clockwork. I don't know, y'all can see it on here. I've showed it to you before though. But you know how Israel is. You got to keep showing the same thing over and over again before they, oh man, you see that, man? I didn't even know that. Yeah, you didn't know it, but you see what it says. That's why I said leave the northern tribes alone. They deal with idolatry. What it say? And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria, northern Israel. They prophesied in Baal, which is Lord. They got you said. They put it all throughout the Bible, so you keep on saying it. It still represent Baal and cause my people Israel to err. Until this day. I just showed it to you. What it mean? Lord. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem, southern tribes, that's northern tribes. He said, I've seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. Come on, Most High ain't said nothing to you preachers out there. Y'all, Most High said he ain't said nothing to you. If you ain't teaching the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, all the work that he done, 613 laws, giving us as sacrificial laws, you ain't even going over them at all. We know that the Mashiach, the ultimate sacrifice, but now they try to build a temple to start sacrificing the animals again. It ain't the right people that's doing it anyway, ain't us. Supposed to be doing nothing like that, man. Y'all better look. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers. Hear that? They strengthen the hands of evildoers. The wicked. I tell you what, you watch when elections come up again. They're going to choose some so-called black church and they're going to be running around this. Look, we got the president. We got the president in our church. They're going to have they walk around, they chest all out like they somebody. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers. Mosiah say he gave us to an unjust king. In Song of Solomon 9. No matter who's in charge over us. Ain't nobody doing that for us. As Israelites, who? Name them. That we can see that we became equal with all other nations. And we built this place. I mean, give $1 for slavery to everyone that was involved in building this place. $1. You ain't got nothing. That's why he said. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none does return from his wickedness. Hear that? How you going to return from wickedness if you don't even know that you're wicked? Because you're saying you ain't under the laws. So how you going to return from wickedness when you think what you're doing is right? Or it's okay? Because Jesus nailed the law to the cross when he was hung on the tree. There are all of them unto me as Sodom. Now he's dealing with what was happening in Sodom and the inhabitants thereof of Gomorrah. And you know it's a whole lot of men with men and women with women up in them churches with them preachers. That's why look at us as go to Revelations. This place is. That's why he said ain't no difference. Revelation 11. Go to Revelation 11th chapter. If we can, in verse 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Talk about America, which spiritually is called what? Sodom and Egypt, where also our Mashiach Yahushua was crucified. Because right here in America, You got him right here in America. You can go, 'cause I know I done bought them. I bought many of them. You can buy this. You can buy it right here. Here he is, right here. See, they got him right there with Joseph and Mary, all the Edomites. See him right there, 3D. All Edomites, all lies. That's why I say that, and y'all lying, perpetrating the evildoers, and put that out there. You perpetrate them like they doing something that's righteous. Got our people all twisted, talking about they think the white man gonna come from heaven and save them. They don't even say that. White people don't even say that. They believe the white man gonna come from heaven and save them. Save this, set up righteousness on this earth. I ain't found one that said that. Ask them. But our people, oh yeah, we sure do. Listen, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called what? Sodom and Egypt. Where also our master, Mashiach Shah, was crucified right here. Going back to Jeremiah 23, verse 14. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem, that's talking about us, we the Israelites, and the horrible thing, you pork chop eating preachers, they commit adultery and walk in lies. Because the Most High ain't sent them to teach. Listen, he said, we in Jeremiah, go back here to Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. You got to go back that far. He going to tell you, Jeremiah 3 and 15. He said, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, to the mind of the Most High. How you know the mind of the Most High? It's going to be written in this Bible, point blank. He said, I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with what? Knowledge and understanding. So you're not teaching the people the knowledge and understanding of the Bible, or else you be teaching them straight up. Proverbs 1 and 7. That's why people doing whatever they want to do, and they don't do this. They have this is not in part of your curriculum. Proverbs 1 and 7. This ain't part of your curriculum. That's why the Most High gonna get you. The fear of the Most High, to be afraid, to be scared of the Most High, the ultimate respect is the beginning of knowledge. To teach the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. He call you a fool because you despise wisdom, which is the proper application of knowledge, how to apply this knowledge in your life, and instruction. You got to be instructed. If you ain't been instructed, y'all went to them cemetery schools, what they teach you? How to come out of there a dead Gentile. Prove me wrong. Prove me that your religion taught you the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, the sacrificial laws that you teach in your congregation. That they just come forth and say, yeah, I know the moral laws, I know the civil laws, I know the ceremonial laws, I know them all by heart. What's the next new moon? I know the next holy convocations that we have. I even honor the Sabbath day as it's supposed to be honored. Which one? That's why you're going to get y'all if you don't change and repent. That's why I'm crying out to you. He said, hey, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. See? But you want to go about your own way, you're going to find out. He's going to get you. As we're reading about it. Right here. Jeremiah 23:14. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. Talk about us, the southern kingdom. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers. I mean, you look what you got. You got, the law says you can't do this. You got those in your church that's doing it. That's why you say you walk in lies. They giving tithes. Oh, you can't say none of them. You don't want to say certain things that will run people away. This ain't about money. That's why I tell you, man, it's all here. That's what y'all doing. Why you can't teach this? Y'all got y'all 501c3s. You can't do what you want to do. That's why they say, look, Micah 3 and 11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Pass the plate. Shut the doors. Pass the plate. Oh, how much do we get? Oh, we ain't get enough. Shut the doors. Pass the plate again. You got to give more. You got to give more. People poor as ever. And the preachers running around with their jets. I was going to say Mercedes and Benz and so on, but they run around and they rolling in jets, and the people poor as ever. The church supposed to be set up that you collect the money to take care of the business of the church and help the people. The money supposed to be distributed to the people as there's a need, not to your pastors. But listen what it says: the heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet what they say, yet what they say, will they lean upon the Most High and say, "Is not the Most High among us? None evil shall come upon us," right? But they got y'all fooled because look, Amos 9 and 10. Y'all still ain't answering my question, which one of y'all teaches the laws of the Most High? But this is going to happen to you. Say, hey, Amos 9 and 10, he got something for you. All the sinners of my people, those that break the laws of the Most High, that you say you ain't under, shall die by the sword. Which do what? Which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Gonna get you. You ain't getting away from this. That's why I'm here to warn you. This is a warning to everyone that hear my voice. Jeremiah 23:14, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none does return from his wickedness. Because he's telling you that you ain't under the law. You ain't got to follow the Most High. Do y'all realize y'all giving the Most High the middle finger? He took all that time to give us these laws. His name is jealous. He said, I'm a consuming fire. He said, I'm going to melt you. Don't you realize this? That's why I say the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. You ain't scared. You teaching your people, like I remember telling people, you got to fear the Most High. Fear the Most High. We ain't supposed to fear the Most High. Most High is love. God is love. Are you serious? You ain't all love. Perpetrating a fraud. That's why he say you speaking lies. You walking in lies, man. And you got your robot teased people following you straight to hell. And my circumcised telling you, you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven if you don't repent and learn this real truth. Some of you can't because you're caught up in this world. That's why he said, they strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none does return from his wickedness. They're doing all kind of stuff in the church. Like we just read, they had prostitutes up in the selling their bodies up in the temple, profaning the altar with all kind of unclean meats and so forth. Anything to make us be abominable. They know we're in the captivity for our wickedness. So therefore, what you think, they're going to show you the right way? We already read what they're going to say in the end. That's for the way of the Most High and the Most High. We have not known it. I don't give a damn how much you teach them. Talking to you Israelites. In the end, they're going to say that. I gave the scripture to brothers, you know how to break it down because you ain't really looking at this deep enough. It's right there. It's telling you, just look at this lesson. I just showed you what they're going to say. Make it mean something different. The past, the present, the future. We in the past now, just prophesying about our time. Well, I'm here to warn you. So your blood ain't going to be on me. There are all of them unto me as Sodom, and inhabitants thereof of Gomorrah. What was they doing in Sodom and Gomorrah? The Most High burnt them cities up and left remnants. He burned it up, but he left so you could see it. That it was a city. It's ancient. Got African big old heads on statues and all that stuff. Burned it up, but left it right there. You can't go inside. He closed it in, but he got the pillars and old and ancient. Way back in Genesis. It's still there. Only the Most High could do that. But he says just like Sodom and Gomorrah, because those are the things that the wickedness they were doing. Men with men, women with women, transgender, all the things they're doing under the sun, they doing all this stuff. They pumping their issues. Like we just seen. You know, you abort a baby all the way up to a week old. And they said beyond that period of time, it's okay. And the police can't do nothing about it. Can't nobody prosecute nobody for doing it. Helping them do it, kill a baby or whatever. Just they putting it out into law. Whew. Man. Therefore, thus say the Most High, verse 50, if Most High power of host, power of angels, concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed them with wormwood and make them drink the water of gall. For from the prophets of Jerusalem, I'm talking about our prophets, our brothers and brothers, is profaneness gone forth into all the land. You hear that? From these preachers is gone profaneness into all the land. Thus said the Most High power of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. That's why Ecclesiastes 3:24 says what? For many are deceived by their own what? Vain opinion, worthless opinion. The way you think is good for nothing. And an evil suspicion overthrown their judgment. The devil, who was these pastors, these prophets that have prophesied walking in lies to you, have taught you the wrong way. Thus say the Most High power of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. Hear what he say? Make you worthless. Make you good for nothing. Make you gonna be the least in the kingdom of heaven. They speak a vision of their own heart. Hear that? A vision of their own mind. Remember those I say he's gonna give you paths according to his heart, his mind. The heart is the mind, the way he thinks, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Listen. They speak a vision of their own heart, their own mind, and not out of the mouth of the Most High. That's the word of the Most High. They're supposed to be giving you precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. I can precept this whole chapter and go here, go there, go there. It's going to be saying the same thing. Name a prophet, it's going to be saying the same thing, putting y'all down for not following the Most High. What you think? He had holy men write this Bible, it's null and void. That's why he say making you vain. When you believe the devil, you are the devil. If you don't believe the Most High, you only got a choice to choose Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Who else you got to choose? The devil? Straight up. They speak a vision of their own heart, their own mind, and not out of the mouth of the Most High. They say still unto them that despise me. The Most High has said. You know how you despise the Most High? Because you done gave him a middle finger thinking that you ain't got to follow his laws. That he took the time to give us 613 laws. You gonna say you ain't got to follow him? So you giving him the middle finger. Maybe y'all can understand that. You know what that means, right? You saying, forget you, Most High. We ain't got to follow you. That's what you saying to him. They say still unto them that despise me. The Most High has said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, his own mind, no evil shall come upon you.